Okay, let's start with the module 3. So in module 3 we are going to study about first concept, deadlock. So we'll see what is deadlock. So in a multi-programming environment, there are several processes may compete for a finite number of resources. When a process requires a resource, if the resources are not available at that time, a process enters into a waiting state. Sometimes the waiting process is never again able to change the state, because the resources it has requested are held by the other waiting processes. This situation is called deadlock. We can consider a situation where a set of processes are blocked because each process is holding the resource and waiting for another resource acquired by the some other process. And also we can consider situation in which two processes sharing the same resources effectively preventing each other from accessing the resource, resulting in both the process cannot access the resource. For example, consider two persons A and B want to make a call for each other at the same time. What will happen? No one will get the call because both the persons are making the call at the same time. So as a result, the call will be engaged. This is one example for the deadlock. We can consider the current situation now, lockdown. So in the lockdown period, the people cannot go outside because of the corona. So this is one example for the deadlock. Okay, so in deadlock the progress is impossible. Okay, we'll see what are the topics you are going to study in this deadlock. First one is system model. Next, deadlock characterization, method for handling deadlocks, deadlock prevention, deadlock avoidance, deadlock detection, and recovery from deadlock. So these are the topics you are going to study. Okay, so objective of this deadlock is, so first one is to develop a description of deadlocks which prevent a set of concurrent processes from completing their tasks. So first it will contain the description of the deadlocks, and second objective is to present a number of different methods for preventing or avoiding deadlocks in a computer system. In a second objective, we have different methods for preventing and avoiding the deadlocks. But in operating system, typically do not provide deadlock prevention facilities. It is the responsibility of the programmer to ensure that they should design the deadlock free programs. The deadlock problems can only become more common, including a large number of processes, multi-threaded programs, many more resources within a system, and an emphasis on long-lived file and database servers. Okay, we'll see what is system model. A system consisting of finite number of resources to be distributed among a number of competing processes. A resource may be partitioned into several types or classes, each consisting of some number of identical instances. So now here the system consisting of the resources, and resource types may be so there is m number of resources, R1, R2 and so on Rn. Okay, so resource may be CPU cycles or memory space or input output devices, or it may be files. So these are the example for the resource type. Okay, each resource type Ri has Wi instances. Suppose if I consider if the system has two CPUs, then the resource type CPU has two instances. If I consider resource type printer may have 5 instances, that indicates a system may be connected with the 5 printers. Okay. If the process requests an instance of a resource type, the allocation of any instance of the type should satisfy the request. If it does not, then the instances are not identical and the resource type classes have not been defined properly. For example, a system may have two printers. These two printers may be defined to be in the same resource class. If no one cares which printer prints which output, if one printer is on the 9th floor and another one is in the basement, then the people on the 9th floor may not see both the printers as equivalent, and separate resource classes may need to be defined for each printer. Okay. A process must request the resource before using it, and it must release the resource after using it. A process may request as many resources as it requires to carry out its designated task. The number of resources requested may not exceed the total number of resources available in the system. That is, a process cannot request 3 printers if the system has only 2 printers. Okay. Under the normal mode of operations, a process may utilize the resources in the following sequence. So each process utilizes the resources as follows. First one is a request, next one is a use, then third one is a release. So request is nothing but if the process requests the resource. If the request cannot be granted immediately, that is if the resource is being used by the another process, then the requesting process must wait until it can acquire the resource. Second one is a use. The process can operate on the resource. For example, if the resource is a printer, the process can print on the printer. And last one we have release. The process releases the resource. First, it has to request for the resource. Once the request is granted, then it has to use the resource, and then after that it has to release the resource. Okay. Next we'll see deadlock characterization. So in a deadlock, the process never finished executing and the system resources are tied up and preventing other jobs from starting. So before we discuss with the various methods for dealing with the deadlock problems, we'll look more closely at the features that characterize the deadlock. So deadlock situation can arise if the following 4 conditions hold simultaneously in the system. First one, it is a mutual exclusion. So mutual exclusion, only one process at a time can use a resource. That is, at least one resource must be held in a non-shareable mode. That is, only one process at a time can use a resource. If another process requests a resource, the requesting process must be delayed until the resource has been released. Okay, second condition is hold and wait. A process is holding the at least one resource and is waiting to acquire additional resource held by the other process. That is, a process must be holding at least one resource and waiting to acquire the additional resource that are currently being held by the other processes. And third condition is no preemption. The resource cannot be preempted. That is, a resource can be released only voluntarily by the process holding it, and after that it has completed its task. So here in no preemption, so here resource cannot be released until the process completes its task. Okay. Next, last one we have circular wait. So consider there exists a set n processes P0, P1 and so on Pn. So these are all the waiting processes such that P0 is waiting for the resource that is held by the P1, and P1 is waiting for the resource held by the P2, and P3 is waiting for the resource held by the P3, and so on. So Pn minus 1 is waiting for the resource held by the Pn, and Pn is waiting for the resource held by the P0. So it is a circular wait. So all are waiting for next processes. Okay, all are waiting for the resources that is held by the another process. Okay, we emphasize that all 4 conditions must hold for a deadlock to occur. The circular wait condition implies that hold wait condition, so that 4 conditions are not completely independent.